I'm about to teach you how to build authority like a boss. I recently did a video on how to build instant authority in Google, and one of the commenters said, well, I wish you showed us how to do it. So that's exactly what we're going to cover today. Make sure you stay to the end because I'm going to show you exactly how I build my authority myself to do millions in commissions. So if you've been living under a rock, authority is super important when it comes to search engine rankings. And essentially, authority is links. And a lot of people look at authority as strictly the amount of links. And that's very false. And many other people look at authority as a DA rating in Moz or a DR rating in Ahrefs or any other type of tool like that. Understand first that these domain numbers or domain authority numbers in these third-party tools can be very easily manipulated. There are many DA30 sites that I would 100% take over a DA80 site. It's very easy to boost that DA or DR number through just mass spamming to that domain. These tools are very inaccurate at discounting spam links for the domain rating score. So make sure it's very clear that these third-party metrics they use for domain authority and domain rating are just estimates. And honestly, it's very inaccurate estimates when it comes to spam. Now, I do think these tools do a decent job at gauging the real authority when it comes to sites with quality links that don't have spam involved. And that's why you always have to go and check that the backlinks of the site match the domain authority, or that the backlink data backs up what the authority says. Let me show you a couple examples on each end. All right, so this first site, flgc.info, has a domain rating in Ahrefs of 58. So that's a pretty powerful domain with 484 referring domains. Now, let's go take a look at the backlinks because we want to make sure that the backlinks are high quality, which would mean they back up that domain rating. So I'm going to go ahead and organize by domain rating. Now, I do like to see that there's higher DR numbers here, okay? Now, but this is where things get manipulative. This is where Ahrefs is pulling this higher domain rating for LGC from. Because they're getting links from high DR sites, they automatically include those as high authority for flgc.info. But when you look under the surface, what type of links are these really? I mean, we got a profile link on Theme Forest. Very easy to get. Yeah, it's high DR, but it's also very easy to get. It's a no follow, and it has very low UR, right? Right here, we have foreign stuff. We can't read this, can barely read this. And it's a forum link. We can tell by the URL, it's a forum link. This one right here is a Code Canyon user. So again, a profile link. This one here, I have no idea what that is. Foreign anchor text, top global website directories. And yeah, these domain ratings of these domains are good, but the link quality is pretty spammy. Foreign. So there's no clear path. What I like to see is a clear path of what this website is about over here. Also, we can tell that there's a lot of spammy anchor text, right? Free counters. It's all exact match anchor text, which just adds on to the spam argument. Now, I want to show you a site with much similar authority, but the backlinks look a lot different. All right, so YaleRudCenter.org. Now, domain rating is 61, so only 3 higher than the previous one, so they're very, very close, almost identical. But this one has twice the amount of referring domains. So that's interesting to start, right? 1,000 referring domains. And honestly, looking at domains a long time, as you look at more, you start to realize this. I would expect more towards 1,000 referring domains for a domain rating of 61. Let's go take a look at the backlinks and let's look at how different this is right here. So let's organize by domain rating. Now, the first thing I see is a link from Wikipedia. Awesome. I know Wikipedia. Okay. What's in the article title here? Or I'm sorry, the link title. Fast food in the thing right here. So that starts telling me maybe is this site about food. Right away, I'm getting idea of what this site's about from the data in the link text and the URL text of the link pointing toward the website that I'm looking at. Next site right here. Fast food loving, okay? Organic hating Ivy League professor will trick you into eating better. Again, medium.com, good site here. Not great, but that's a pretty good one. And again, it's talking about fast food loving. So this is again about food. Next link here is from Dr. Albert Stunker, New York Times, though, right? The stigmatizer of fat. So that tells me, again, it's about food. And it's from the New York Times. Now, the big difference between these links and the links to the previous site is, number one, we already have a consistent topic, all right? It's talking about food and, healthy eating and all that type of stuff. Number two, we can read all the data, right? We know exactly what this is about. Number three, we recognize high authority sites that are well known. In Wikipedia, Medium, New York Times, The Guardian. These are extremely powerful sites that are very hard to get links on. bbc.co.uk, wiley.com, harvard.edu, bbc.com. Again, very, very well-known sites, and in the metadata, you can read stuff that tells me what this site is about over here. That is the sign of a quality site. The previous site we looked at, we have no idea what that site was about. There were spammy anchor text. This has all different anchor text. Everything is matching up to tell me that that domain rating is actually pretty accurate to what Google likely see it as. So again, there's a very obvious and clear difference between the two sites I just showed you. Yet, they have almost identical domain rating. This is why these metrics should only be used as a gauge and as a starting point. They are just a metric, they're not a real number in Google. This is extremely important to understand. Artificially boosting your authority of your site for these third-party tools will almost always hurt your SEO and not do it better, even though you have a higher score in the third-party tool. I had to make sure that was very clear before we start talking about building your actual authority. Now, I personally also consider there to be two parts to building authority, or how Google reads authority, and that is the power of the link and the relevance of the link. Many of these third-party tools really only gauge like the power of the links, and they do like a half-assed job at it, because with all honesty, they're really bad at detecting and discounting the spam links. But from what I've seen, they also totally neglect the relevant factor. And in my opinion, relevance plays a huge factor when it comes to authority. Now, technically, you can separate these two things into two different topics, right? You could have link authority and topical authority, or relevance authority. But I think in many niches, these two things really come together as one. Now that we understand all this, we can actually start talking about how to build authority. Well, you build links as powerful and as relevant as possible. And that's all, folks. End of video. Just kidding. Obviously, you want to know how to build the links. I got you. First off, understand that building links is either time-consuming, or it's expensive, or it's a mix and match of both of these things. That's why sometimes we just want to piggyback off the high authority of sites that are already out there. It's much easier. They already have that authority that we're looking for, and we just simply build a page based off their domain authority, piggybacking off them. It's like that one coworker who always joins the project just in time at the end to take credit for everything. What a dick. Yeah, that's kind of what we do when we do parasite SEO. Or in other words, leech off the domain authority of other web properties. And if you don't want to be a total dick, we got to build our own links, or at least buy our authority at auction. But let's talk about building links. Now, what type of links you want to build and how you go about doing it is highly going to depend on what you're going after, the niche, all that type of stuff. Now, if you're doing something like starting a brand new local site, let's start there. The best option for a site like this is just to go out and get a bunch of good citations and social properties. If you just go and Google citation build and services, there's tons of great services out there. But you got stuff like White Spark and Bright Local and other things like that. Marketer Center, those are all good options. Now, if we're talking outside of like a brand new local site, there's all different ways that I get links. And the first and easiest is to just buy them with a link building service. And if you haven't tried my link builder I use yet, you obviously have no idea what you're missing out on. He puts all the other link building services to complete shame. He has the largest network of sites in the whole world by far. Let me give you just a quick 1-minute tour. So this is the dashboard of the link builder that I use. You can see he has everything very organized in here. I'm not going to show you everything, but I just want to go to build links. He even recently added homepage links. So you can now build homepage links. This is like PBN style, but more powerful because they have higher traffic and more pages and all that. So you can build homepage links. You can build guest posts. You can build niche edits. And also, if I scroll down here, one of the most powerful things is you can do all types of different options here, but you can organize by whatever filters you want. You can organize by how much traffic they get. You can organize by keyword. You can organize by relevance. You can organize by any type of metric you want. His system will go out and find the exact type of link you want, match the metrics that you put in here, and go and get that link for you. He is the best by far. I could do a 20-minute video on this. I could do an hour video on this. It's just important that you know that you are not going to get this type of link building service anywhere else. Again, link in description. So again, that is the super easy way to build links. Doesn't take much time, but takes a little bit more on the money side. Now, let's go on the opposite end and show a method that takes more time, but less money. and that would be analyzing competitors and trying to get the same links as them. Let's show an example. All right, so I'm going to do a search for the best waterproof hiking boots, just a random search term here. And what I'm going to do is just come down. Let's pretend that I'm in this niche I'm trying to rank for this. Well, these first guys here, I'm going to go ahead and analyze them. So I'm going to take this URL and I'm going to throw it into Ahrefs. And what this is going to do is help me see what type of backlinks do they have and can I get the same type of links. So I'm organized by domain rating here, highest power to lowest. Now, the beauty with this is the higher power ones are listed first, but you got to know that the higher power they are, the harder they're going to be to get. Okay, so this one right here, I would ignore. This is just like a natural search engine link. CNET.com, I would probably ignore this because you likely have to have some type of in to have this link. This one I could possibly get. So I would go to Runner's World. I would see exactly where their link is on this page, and then I would go and try to find a contact button here and reach out to the site and ask them, how do I get a link on your site, like at this site right here? Can I create my own article, or can I pay you for a one-time link on that page? Then you just go through this whole list and do the same exact thing. So this one right here looks like another article. We would go to this article. We would come down. We would try to contact these guys. They got an about us. Likely down here, they might have a contact. Let's see right here. Look at this. Submit a news tip, advertising information, write for us. So likely what these guys did is they came here, they wrote an article for them, they submitted it, and they got this link on this article right here. So you could go and do the same thing. And check this out. 82 domain rating, and this site gets about 10,000 visitors per month. So we know it gets traffic, so that means Google likes the site. So we just stole a place where we can get a really good link. Now, what you're going to have to do is write your own article, take the time to reach out and submit it and all that. But this way is a much cheaper way to get links. It just takes a whole lot more time. And again, I could go through this whole list and just get their best links and then move on to the next competitor. And again, as you can probably see, that way is going to take a lot more time. But as I said, it's also going to be a lot less expensive. Now, I also want to bring up a way to build authority that not many people talk about, because it can really be like an avalanche of SEO power, as powerful as a free upgrade to first class, comfort, luxury, and free meals. I'm talking about authorship. And there's really two different paths here. I could probably shoot a video specifically on this topic, but I'll cover each of these two very quickly here. Now, the first path is to build your own authorship. Generally, how this works is you have to work yourself up the ladder. You start by writing articles and building authorship on smaller sites. Then you slowly use that portfolio to work your way up the ladder to the more powerful sites. I'm talking about places like Forbes and Business Insider and Money.com and many others. Now, this takes a lot of time and effort, but once you're up there at the top, you have the ability to build a lot of strong links and you have a lot of power. And if you're smart, you can make a lot of money too. I'll leave that one right there by itself. Now, the other option is to get ins with established authors. This is also a game of patience and strategy. But what you do is you reach out to established authors and you start building relationships with them. Get that relationship to a point where these authors will put articles on these established sites and link back to your properties. This will take less time than building your own authorship, but it's likely going to be a little more costly, because likely you're going to have to pay these people to write these articles, and it's just going to cut some of the time, but it's going to be more expensive. And another way to build your authority is through general networking. This is a very common method when you're trying to build a brand. I personally don't use this because I'm not really trying to build a brand. It's not something I'm interested in. I'm just not that into networking. I like to do my own thing and mind my own business. Because look, leaving my house and talking to people requires a level of bravery that I do not possess. And hey, my idea of a wild night these days is staying up past 9 p.m. But on the other hand, if you live on the wild side and actually talk to people and stay up past 10 p.m., networking can be very powerful. Now, the next method is you can also, of course, buy authority at auction. You can buy sites that already have pre-built authority on auction as an age domain, and then use that power and pass it on to your own websites. I cover all this in videos that I've shot right here on this channel. Just search for OMG Academy PBN. So I'm not going to cover that in great detail right here. Just go check out one of those videos. And of course, you can always do things, any other type of link building practice, like building press releases that is going to get you links. So I know the next question. Greg, what do you do? How do I personally build my authority and slaughter the competition? It's like a horror movie. I'm Jason and they're the clueless campers at Crystal Lake. I do this by a combination of some of the things I just talked about. I will say that one of my most common forms is using the link building service that I quickly demoed for you. Again, link in description, because I'm kind of lazy and he does an awesome job. He's far beyond any other link building service. I combine this with buying sites at auction, pre-powered, and then using them to power up my own sites. And remember, I use that pre-built authority in two different ways. I use it for my money site as my base, and then I use it for my secondary properties to link to my money sites. Of course, that is more commonly referred to as a PBN network. In my more profitable niches, I try to take the time to analyze competition and get links manually, like I also showed. I probably don't do this as often as I should because I'm very busy and lazy, but it's something you should definitely practice. But there you have it. That's how I build my authority. Now, go out there and slaughter the competition. Channel your inner John Wick. But instead of a pencil, use this killer authority building method. Just remember, no actual body count is needed. Make sure you hit that like button, place a comment, and hit that gosh darn subscribe button. Talk to you soon.